Good afternoon. This is Cody Morgan in English 317, Section 2 at the University of Idaho under Professor Aaron Schab. The term we will be defining and describing today is public lands grazing. The definition of public lands grazing is the consumption of forage on federally managed lands, such as the Bureau of Land Management, BLM, or the Forest Service, by privately owned livestock. Okay? What is, in order to do the extended definition of public lands grazing, we have to find out what it is. And during the summer months, ranches in rural Idaho depend on hay production on the home places, which is usually the bottom, the green spots, as indicated by the arrow. Hay production needs to happen in the summertime in order to feed the cattle during the winter. Therefore, you can't have the cows grazing on the private land during the summer months, or you can't put up hay. Then you can't feed them in the winter, which would be pretty problematic as a rancher. Therefore, we run cattle on public lands that were not homesteaded during the private land acquisition of the Western United States back in the mid 1800s to late 1800s. Lands that were not homesteaded, but then thereby transferred to management by the United States government, the BLM, and the Forest Service. And the brown land we see is all Forest Service or BLM land, and that's the land that is grazed on. That's public land grazing, the land that's actually happening. And so during the summer months, you have to run them on public land in order to put up hay so you can feed them during the winter. The Taylor Grazing Act 1934, the reason for that was there's too much cattle on the range, too many livestock, and tragedy of the commons is what it was. And they were degrading the ecosystem, causing a lot of soil erosion, competition over range, resulting in a couple murders, some range wars between cattle and sheep, fighting over the available forage, available grass to feed the cattle during the summer, cattle or sheep. Therefore, ranchers came together and made the Taylor Grazing Act 34, which had a management agency, made the federal government create a federal management agency, which was the Division of Grazing, which later turned into the BLM through a modification of the federal agency. Anyway, the ranchers decided that there needed to be an overall land manager that decided which ranches, who would be able to graze at what range, at what times of the year, to make it sustainable for the future of agriculture or cattle and sheep production. The management agencies were the BLM and the Forest Service, which we have today. And the issue with public lands grazing is there's competing uses for public land. Livestock production used to be the only one, but since the Green Revolution in the 70s and 80s, we've seen a lot more recreation, a lot more aesthetic use for public lands, and these are competing land uses which would like to have cattle out because there's a lot of money in recreation on public lands, such as we've seen in Sun Valley, McCall, hiking opportunities, biking opportunities. They want cows out of the range, and so as livestock producers, people that use public lands for livestock grazing, we just need to adapt to this new system of multiple use land management and keep doing a great job of grazing cattle on public lands, so we all have this multiple use, we can all share it and create great beef and still have great managed lands. Well, that is my slide cast, public lands grazing. About a minute over the time, but a lot of information put down. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Have a good day.